Hi, welcome to of Orcs and Men. You left us last time heading for the hideout. Styx, peace and quiet finally, this is my hideout. Except he doesn't talk like that, he sort of talks with a throaty growl. That's Fox. She will give us a mission later. That is the blacksmith spearhead. And I'm going to try challenging him. There's this weird sort of subquest where you challenge everyone for trinkets, and that's the last, who is the last of his tribe. But he won't talk to us. Naughty the last. And up there is Monkey. He's the leader of the gang. Although, it's a pretty ragtag gang. There's only 5 of them, and one of them won't even talk. Anyway, this dude will trade, and you can buy different stuff from him. He doesn't have anything outstanding for the time being. Certainly nothing that's a vast improvement on what I've got that warrants selling it. You can also challenge him. You can challenge all the members of the tribe. The gang? But I failed pretty convincingly against him. Hello, Spearhead. This time, I gave him one shot, and he pretty much took me apart. There we go. And then he did it again. And then he did it again. And then he did it again. It did not go well. So I will come back and deal with him later. Then go talk to Fox. You can talk to the others and get bits and pieces of information out of them, but nothing that valuable. But we're off to see Sarkyss. Sarkyss will get us through the wall, but in exchange for doing a task for him. So first we have to fight our way through this area to make it to him. And through here there are just more soldiers. Nothing too challenging. This is the map. Once again, it's pretty linear. I'm coming through here. There is an area up here on the right where we're going to pick up a mission. After we've cleared this out. Now there's a bunch of guards kicking around, but there's also civilians mixed in, so not everyone that you see is a bad guy. So I'm just trying to eliminate some of these guys and thin the crowd a bit. Heading back around this way, there's some civilians, so not much to do there. And then heading back out into this big main area. I think there's 3, maybe 4 guards left. That chap is guarding a gateway, so you can't go any further. It goes, I can't even Arkail behind. Arkail. So assassinate that dude, and then there's, I think, just 2 left from here. So run back to my big, meaty friend. Buff up here, and then fire the attacks. What am I trying to say? Attack these guys. But there's this one and I think maybe one more who comes chugging around the corner. But it's nothing too scary. Styx will sit there just chucking his little stones. Stones? Daggers. I don't know where I got stones from. Chucking his daggers at that dude. And there is a dude with a crossbow there. But the crossbow guys, once you knock them down, aren't too troublesome. They're very easy to interrupt and they don't have a lot of hit points. And there we go, that's him dealt with and the area clear plus a level up. And that chap will give us a mission. So I'm going to up my stamina. I up the fast attack, inflicts bleeding on any enemy affected by a vulnerability, but I end up not using the offensive stance too much. And then Styx, I give strength, just to increase his damage a bit. I figure that's probably quite useful. And just having a look at the skills, and I go with stealth, allows the character to get even closer to the enemy without being detected. Moving faster would be, basically it doesn't really get me anything. I don't mind moving slower. So what? I move slower, it takes a bit longer, but it doesn't fundamentally improve the skill. It just saves me a bit of time. Anyway, through here to meet Oboth, who wants you to kill Jared, and you get a little yellow cross on your map. I'll have a look in a second. There. So it's not too far away. Basically just follow the linear path once again until you get there, and you can go left or right, and there's a bit of a chest in there. Anyway, progressing on through this area, there are a handful more guards. I'm just having a little look around to make sure I didn't miss any loot, but then carry on up here, and just around the corner there are some guards here. I ran straight into them without stealthing very effectively. So this is a bit of a brutal fight. There are quite a lot of them. And obviously your poster's up, so they want your heads for money. They want to earn their reward. Anyway, I stick with Arkail for a little bit and go for some heavy attacks. I mix in a heavy attack, and Styx is being mauled by a dog and a brigand. The dog is... well, I don't really know what the dogs do, apart from obviously attack you. But then bring Arkail in to what's this thing called? Roar, or whatever it is, to kind of draw aggro. And sure enough, they all turn around onto him, and I've left Styx just doing his little dagger attack on the dog to try and take it down. There's only a couple left at this point. Arkail's done a pretty good job of tearing through them. There we go. And just stacking the attacks up. I think I've got a couple of attacks on the triggers now, so I can auto-attack pretty easily. And I'm just going to stun this guy. But then Arkail goes down. I take the time to raise him because there's 3 crossbow guys left and a kind of spear guy with a pitchfork who's going to give me some trouble. Even though I've got quite a lot of health left, it's always worth having the other guy up, especially when there's 5 people left. So I send Arkail off to deal with the crossbow dudes while Styx drops that polecatcher, drops that spearman and then turns around to get this guy. Arkail is still taking a pounding from the crossbowmen, but it's nothing too serious. They're just reloading their crossbows there. But a couple of heavy attacks soon put paid to them. Even though he goes down again, it's not the end of the world. And I love watching him in slow motion with his little jumpy attack. It's kind of awesome. But take him down, eventually. Raise up Arkail. Here we go. And then we've just got 2 bowmen left. There we are. And so it's relatively straightforward just to mash these guys to pieces. The old 1-2 stunned, and he's out. That's it. Game over. That's all she wrote. Anyway, just having a quick look around for loot again. Nothing really very much there. And then through here, I thought, oh, maybe there's some bad guys. There's a fence in the way. I thought I'd let Arkail catch up with me and then head through here to see who I could take down without getting spotted, and the answer was but the one guy. Anyway, back here to buff and do some light attacks, and then Arkail is doing his roar, followed by a stunning blow, followed by a few light attacks, and then I'm chaining a few stunning blows in there, just to try and deal with these guys. So, pausing. They go down pretty easily. Once Arkail gets into his rhythm, he can actually start to dish out quite a lot of pain. So you'll see here, attack. I'm just trying to take down that one guy. He's down now. There's a dog, 2 guys, and a bowman left. So I send Styx off to deal with the bowmen because they do a lot of damage despite not having too much health. So they're easy for him to pick off at range. And then it looks like Arkail is about to go down again. He likes to spend time on the floor. So I just want to try and drop this dog before it all goes over, because that will only leave 2 guys for Styx to evade. But sure enough, Arkail is about to go down, and he's gone into his defensive crouch, where he'll just counter attacks. And now there's just the one guy left here. And I'm thinking, well, if I take him out, that's probably not a bad idea, but Arkail is kind of needed just because of Mr. Swordy over there, who's going to cause me a world of pain. So then it is a few light attacks. There we go. Sort of thing out there. A few light attacks, followed by a few heavy attacks. There. Just out of sight of the crossbowman, so that he won't be shooting at us while we take him down, and then it's just a question of sending Styx round, whose health is fine. I'm just going to buff around the corner so the dude can't shoot at me. Oh no, I'm not, apparently. There we go, just a simple throw. Using a bit of my... what's it called? Concentration points. Anyway, another quick look around for loot. There is none. And then around here, no, not that way, that's right, Styx. Around this way to go meet Jared and smack his teeth in. I was just trying to see if I could get up there, but I can't. I did manage to get up there at one point with a throw goblin move, so I'm wondering if it's worth throwing the goblin up in the future. They're just civilians. But there's a couple of guards there. Fortunately, they're sleeping, so I can assassinate them relatively easily. But I'm wondering if I can throw the goblin out of combat up high. Anyway, through here there's a bit of a cutscene where they go, "Your kind aren't welcome here, dirty greenskins," and they shut the door behind you. Not the end of the world. So push on through. Come on, chop sticks. There we go. Can't attack them. And then just up here the road is going to fork, and you can go left or right. And it's left to Jared. There we go. And I wanted to kind of stealth through and just try and eliminate one of his team. But I go in and they all kind of attack. And I actually managed to, despite this being quite a busy fight, I managed to get it first time. So I was quite happy about that. Again, it's just a question of buffing Sniper, having Styx take out the archers, because he's, you know, whether or not he draws their aggro isn't a problem so much, because... there we go, another big old hit. Because they're going to be shooting at him or not, at least they're not going to maul him and crush him with the swords. Arkail's doing okay, his rage is kind of up. I should maybe consider bleeding it, and I'm using heavy attacks, which probably wasn't the smartest move. But he's doing okay. Now I've mixed in a rage bleed move. There we go, so his rage should dissipate a little bit. There. And Styx is taken down the crossbowman, so he can now focus on these dudes and just help whittle them down. And Arkail is about to go berserk. There we go, he's off in berserk mode, so I'm just keeping Styx well out of his way. But he's gone down, so I can raise him safely now, except I've preempted it a little bit. There we go, raise him now, he's on his face. But by keeping Styx out of the way during most of the fights, you can guarantee that you'll have enough health left at the end to be able to raise Arkail, who can then just jump up. And since then I've bought the raise skill, I've improved it so he comes back with much, much more health. But we'll see that in a second. I might even level up after this fight, I'm not sure. Anyway, only one brigand left, and he's going to go down pretty quickly. My rage is very low, his armor's been damaged, he's now bleeding. We're in good shape. There we go, man down. So there's the level up. Let's see what we do. I think there might be a bit of running around. First, open the chest, and there are some light gauntlets for Styx. And I give Styx agility again to up his critical chance, primarily. And then give him also... the attack has 25% chance of causing a vulnerability for accurate throw. So that is, it costs concentration, but the vulnerability means that bleeding does more damage. I upgrade Arkail with, I missed what I upgraded him with, but strength, and I think, well, I don't know, it doesn't matter. And then through here, Oboth turns up and gives you these weapons, which are okay. They do, they increase concentration. So it's that or getting life back. So I figured the amount that I actually go hand to hand, I would rather have the increase in concentration renewal. Then up here there's a bit of a circle, there's some guys on patrol and also some guards just standing around, so I eliminate all those that I can without alerting people. There are a couple of crossbowmen lurking up high and a couple of swordsmen down here, but they don't prove too much of a threat now. I've thinned the pack considerably. Arkail I've let go crazy with his big red attacks, his offensive stance, and Styx is just standing there throwing even though he's being attacked. Another guy's come in with a crossbow, but he should go down pretty quickly to Arkail's mighty blows. You can see there, I think he's down already. And then two more guys have come running in, but fortunately because they've been staggered, it's never been overwhelming. And so it's fairly easy to just mash these guys to pieces with some stunning hits and some quick blows and a bit of rage reduction. There we go. And I've also got the healing in exchange for range reduction now, which is good news. Anyway, on through here, and open the chest to get a little prize. I forget what it is. There we go, Champion's Gauntlets, which increase my stamina and better damage reduction. So I think I equipped. I didn't equip those. I wasn't too fussed about stamina versus critical hit damage. But I think I might switch it out later. There's still this patrol of 4 guards, so I drop down and just snag the end guy, leaving only 3 to take out in the next fight. Here we go, so run back to Arkail, buff up and get ready with the throws, and then send Arkail into the fray to just, you know, kind of lay down the pain. And it's interesting, I don't actually spend that much time using red skills on Arkail. Maybe I will later. Maybe I need to up his stamina and rage management a lot better. But for the time being, he just gains rage way too quickly in offensive mode, plus he takes too much damage. So it's kind of a... it's an interesting trade-off. I kind of wanted to go for a glass tank, but having 2 glass tanks isn't the smartest move. Anyway, continue on up here, and to the right, around here, there are a bunch of guys, and obviously attack the wrong one very smartly. I send Styx in to attack these guys, and just kind of whittle down the pack, and then there's a guy behind him causing a bit of trouble, but once I've buffed I turn around and deal with him without too much trouble. My concentration is growing pretty quickly. The recharge on it is nice. You can see it coming up there. It actually regenerates very, very quickly when we're not in pause, obviously. In pause it's not going to regenerate at all, or at least, 8 times, 16 times slower. Arkail has berserked, but that's fine. He is 1.5 miles away from anyone else, although he just went for Styx there, which wouldn't have been great had he connected. And you can see Styx just chucking shots out there. But anyway, the guys are down now, and that's quite a nice backbreaker move from Arkail there. Woohoo! Throw him across your knee and smash him in twain. And there was another bit of loot there. We'll have a look at what that is in a second. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything else. It is some Scarlet Boots, which increase my dodge and keep my damage reduction the same. So that is kind of a no-brainer. And then pushing on through here, we come to another area. We're going to have a look at the map now. Left was the way to go. Right was back around that loop. Nothing in there to pick up. And then down here, we meet... Dun dun dun! Come on, Styx, you can do it. There's a crowd of people who are going to prove a little bit tricky. I take him out, but that alerts everyone else. So once again, back to Arkail. Buff. What's it called? Concentrated throw, or I don't know, that thing. Anyway, provoke all the bad guys. I get all but one, but that's fine. And then just lay the smack down onto them. Styx is a little bit in the fray, but you can see even though he's standing there, he's not actually taking that much damage. The way combat works is they won't get hit accidentally. Unlike, say, Assassin's Creed, where whoever happens to be near and you can make them attack themselves, they'll basically only damage the guy that they're specifically attacking. I'm starting to like stuns more and more. Just keeping people stun locked is always good fun. And because I've got it on a quick button, it means I don't have to constantly access the menu, which is good news too. I should really have Styx attacking the same guy, but it's not the end of the world. The problem with the stun is it's super easy to counter, so now I'm sort of regretting. I think I upgraded it to be to not be. There was an option to make it harder to counter and parry, and I'm wishing I'd kind of gone with that now. But anyway, there's one more crossbowman left up there. He doesn't last too long once I've buffed. There we go, man down and level up once again. So I take agility to increase critical and dodge, or to increase critical. And then increase Raise Ally. There we go, so it does 100 more points when I buff. For Arkail, I take Taunt, so that it has a 25% chance of blocking the foe, or interrupting, and increases Strength to put out a bit more damage. There we go. And now just a quick loop to make sure I didn't miss anything, and then we are pressing on. So up this hill, and around the corner, and we're going to come to the, I guess, the equivalent of the boss fight for this level, which is a whole... Oh no, this isn't the boss fight yet. It's a squadron of guys. There's what, 8 of them, and they're all kind of looking at each other, so I'm only going to be able to get one assassination in. There's no point in continuing down there because Arkail won't be able to come with me, so I just pick one at random and take him down. I maybe should have gone for the spear guys, but yeah, it's not the end of the world. Anyway, back here to buff, and then a... what is it? Throw knife, concentrated throw. I forget what it's called. And I'm going to send Arkail in with a few heavy attacks to warm up. And then once he's done those, put out Scream Taunt thing. Here we go. Any second. And they're all provoked. And so Arkail is going to go down pretty quickly, I'm fairly confident. But there's one guy down there now to focus on the spearman. And he got interrupted, which is good news. And then trying to focus Arkail on this guy, but I think, well, I'll do a couple of taunts to try and... a couple of rage decreases to try and increase my health, because now that's supposed to be healing me, but the amount of healing it does is basically pretty pathetic. Fortunately, Styx hasn't been hurt yet, so after waiting a couple of seconds, I can raise Arkail back up. And it takes these guys a couple of seconds to turn around, so actually getting someone killed isn't the end of the world. If only because it's so quick to raise them. This guy now is pretty much down. Arkail's doing okay. He's now in his little crouch where he counters, meaning that Styx can just sit there and pick this dude off at his leisure. And Arkail goes down again, but by that point this guy's got practically no health. So it's a pretty quick job just to take them down before they even close. Then up here, hello civilians, nothing around there. I have a little look in these holes because according to the map there are some gaps there, but there really aren't. And then passing on through, oh no, not that way. Passing on down here, there we go. There's also a little area there, but you can't access it. And then through here to the boss fight, finally. There's a little cutscene where there are some inquisitors killing some goblins and orcs, and you see here, poor goblin. Although the goblins are feral, so it's not the end of the world. But then carry on through here, and there is an Imperial Knight, and I figure since I can only assassinate one guy, although looking back there's a guy on the left that I maybe could have snagged, if I'd been a bit cleverer about it. But again, this fight goes, well, I mean, they go down, but it's, I don't die, I don't have to restart, which is nice. So, opening it up with a few light attacks, and Styx obviously doing his thing, he's buffed up. And then just a bit of smashy. I'm wondering if Arkail has a buff. The next level up, I might have a bit of a look at that and see where we end up. But I'm mixing in a heavy attack with the light attacks. His rage is okay, and actually at this stage I'm not too fussed if he berserks, because he's going to die pretty quickly. You get a bit of health back when you berserk, but you don't necessarily regenerate it any quicker. So I figure if he goes berserk before he dies, he might get a few good hits in. Styx isn't too close, and he's not really being attacked. And at this point I think there's only 3 guys left, so we've really kind of done them over. Anyway, there's Styx going down, and he's straight back up with no trouble at all. And you can see now with the improved heal he actually comes back with about 25% health, which is good. Although as I raise his stamina, that's going to get worse and worse. There's a couple of crossbow guys in the distance who aren't too much trouble. Styx's health has, well, just run out, so Styx has gone down. So raising him, roar to raise him, and just trying to pick this Inquisitor dude off, who is capable at putting out the punishment pretty effectively. So I get a couple of hits on him and then think, well, hang about, he's got a good chance of killing me before I manage to get Styx back up. So let's cancel those moves and bring Styx back up. I want to stun him first. There we go. So now I can cancel those moves, raise Styx, and then go for a couple of powerful blows, or at least one powerful blow, which will hopefully chop this guy to pieces. Sure enough, it does. Now back to Styx. I want to boost him and then get a few hits in on the militiamen, but from here I'm out of range and I can't move, and it just keeps cancelling my moves. So I move a bit closer, and sure enough, no trouble at all. I think Arkail might go down, I forget. Oh no, he's got loads of health now, he's been regenerating fine. But that is the end of that fight. At which point this dude Raven rocks out to take us off to Sarkyss. And that is it for now. I will see you in the next level. Lots of love. Bye!